The Grand Chamber of the Galactic Council fell silent as Ambassador Thakar read the human proposal for the third time. His compound eyes scanned the holographic display, searching for the error that must be there. 87 kilometers, he said slowly, his translator converting his chittering into standard galactic speech. The humans want to build a warship 87 kilometers long. Laughter rippled through the assembled delegates. The Vraxian representative, a being of living crystal, chimed with amusement. Surely this is a translation error. No species has ever built a vessel larger than 50 kilometers. The largest human ship currently in service is barely 3 kilometers. Admiral Sarah Chen stood before the council, her face calm. She was a small woman by human standards, but she carried herself with quiet confidence. Behind her, the blue marble of Earth hung in the viewport, peaceful and distant. There is no error, Chen said. Construction begins in 6 months. We are filing this notice as a courtesy, not a request for permission. The laughter stopped. Thacker's mandibles clicked in irritation. Admiral, do you understand what you are proposing? Your species has been part of the galactic community for only 200 years. You are children compared to us. The Krell Empire attempted to build a 43-kilometer dreadnought 8,000 years ago. It tore itself apart during the first test flight. Thousands died. We are aware of the Krell failure, Chen replied. We studied it extensively. We learned from their mistakes. A massive creature resembling a bear crossed with an octopus rumbled forward. General Korthax of the Vrellan Dominion had fought in more wars than humanity had recorded history. His 4 eyes fixed on the human admiral with something between pity and contempt. Little human, Korthax growled. You do not understand the physics involved. The structural stress on a vessel that size would require materials that do not exist. The power requirements would drain a star. The Council's greatest engineers have declared such a project impossible. Then it is fortunate, Chen said quietly, that we did not ask your engineers. Gasps echoed through the chamber. Several delegates rose from their seats, demanding the human be removed for such disrespect. But Thakar raised a claw for silence. Something in the Admiral's eyes troubled him. There was no arrogance there, no youthful bravado, only certainty. Why? He asked simply. Why would you attempt something so dangerous, so expensive? Your economy will collapse. Your people will suffer. For what? Chen hesitated. For the first time, her composure cracked slightly. She glanced back at Earth, then at the assembled council. Because something is coming, she said. The chamber erupted in questions, but Chen raised her hand. We have detected anomalies at the edge of the galaxy, massive energy signatures. Our deep space probes have been disappearing at an alarming rate. We believe there is a threat the Council has not yet recognized. The car felt a chill run through his carapace. We have monitoring stations throughout the galaxy. If there was a threat, we would know. Would you? Chen asked. When was the last time the Council checked on the colonies in the Outer Rim? When did you last receive a full report from your border outposts? The silence that followed was uncomfortable. The truth was that the Council had grown complacent. The galaxy had been at peace for 3,000 years. Border colonies were expected to be self-sufficient. Reports came in every few decades, sometimes longer. Even if you are correct, said Resonance of Truth, the crystalline chief engineer, this vessel you propose cannot be built. I have run the calculations myself. The materials required do not exist in sufficient quantities. The construction time would be 40 years minimum. You claim 6 months. It is fantasy. Chen smiled. It was not a pleasant smile. We are not using your materials, she said. We are not using your construction methods. We are not following your rules because, as you have repeatedly reminded us, we are young. We are inexperienced. We do not know what is impossible. She activated her own holographic display. Images appeared showing a massive construction site near Jupiter. Thousands of workers in specialized suits moved through space like a swarm of industrious insects. Strange machinery that none of the council members recognized filled the area. Construction has already begun, Chen said. We broke ground 3 months ago. The keel was laid last week. We will complete the Indomitable in 8 months, not 6. We accelerated the timeline. Thankar stared at the images. It was impossible. Everything about it was impossible. Yet there it was. "You will destroy yourselves," he said softly. "This pride, this arrogance, it will be your end." "Perhaps," Chen agreed. "But if we are right about what is coming, doing nothing would guarantee our end. We choose to fight." She turned to leave, then paused at the chamber doors. "The Indomitable will launch with or without council approval. But when it does launch, there will be room aboard for anyone who wishes to stand with us. Think about that." The doors closed behind her. Thakar returned to his delegation's chambers hours later. He could not shake the feeling that something fundamental had just changed. The humans were either brilliant or suicidal, possibly both. His assistant approached with a datapad. "Ambassador, we just received a priority message from our colony in the Andromeda sector. They have gone silent. No response to any hails." Then Carr felt his blood run cold. "When did we last hear from them?" 47 years ago, sir. Standard check-in protocols. Send a scout ship immediately." As his assistant hurried away, Packer looked out at the stars. Somewhere out there, the humans were building their impossible ship. And somewhere else, perhaps, something was watching them all. He wondered which would reach them first, the Indomitable or whatever the humans feared. In her private quarters aboard the human diplomatic vessel, Admiral Chen reviewed the classified files one final time. The images were grainy, enhanced by their best AI systems, but unmistakable. The probes had captured them before going dark. Machines, millions of them, moving in perfect coordination, consuming everything in their path, and they were coming closer. Chen closed the file and looked at the countdown timer on her desk. 8 months until launch. It had to be enough. It had to be. 6 months had passed since Admiral Chen's declaration to the Galactic Council. Ambassador Thakar stood aboard the Council inspection vessel as it approached Jupiter's orbit, expecting to find failure, expecting to find humans drowning in their own ambition. What he found instead made his mandibles lock in shock. The Indomitable hung in space like a metal mountain. Even incomplete, it dwarfed anything Thakar had ever seen. The skeletal framework stretched across the viewport, disappearing into the distance. Construction drones swarmed over it like silver insects, welding and building without pause. "Impossible," whispered resonance of truth beside him. "The mathematics do not allow this." But there it was. Their shuttle docked at one of the construction platforms. A human woman in a stained engineering suit waited for them. Her dark skin was marked with scars, and her left arm gleamed with obvious cybernetic enhancements. "Welcome to Jupiter Station," she said, extending her hand. "I'm Chief Engineer Maria Okonkwo. Try not to die while you're here." The car noticed she was not joking. The inspection tour began immediately. The car's team consisted of the Council's best engineers from 12 different species. Within the first hour, 3 of them had to return to the shuttle, overwhelmed by the radiation levels. "How are your workers surviving this?" demanded a Vraxian engineer, his crystalline form flickering with alarm. "Jupiter's radiation belts should kill organic beings in minutes." Maria tapped her cybernetic arm. "Gene therapy, radiation-resistant modifications, and really good coffee. We adapt. It's kind of our thing." They passed through a section where human workers performed spacewalks in the open void. The car watched in horror as one worker casually repaired a damaged hull plate, while Jupiter's storms raged behind him, radiation levels that would kill any council species within an hour. "You are insane," Thakar said. "All of you." "We prefer determined," Maria replied with a grin. "But yeah, a little insane helps." She led them to the primary construction bay. What they saw there defied everything the council knew about shipbuilding. The hull was not being assembled. It was being grown. Massive vats contained a silvery liquid that climbed the ship's framework like living metal. Microscopic machines, nanobots, worked in perfect coordination, weaving carbon nanotubes into a composite material stronger than anything in the council's databases. Resonance of Truth's form pulsed with alarm. "This technology is forbidden." The council banned self-replicating nanotechnology 3,000 years ago. "It is too dangerous, too unpredictable." "We know," Maria said calmly. "We read the ban. We also read the original research. You banned it because you couldn't control it. We can Arrogance, shouted the Vraxian. One mistake, and those machines will consume everything. They will turn this entire system into gray sludge. Maria's expression hardened. We have 17 failsafes, quantum locks, and a master shutdown grid. We didn't copy your old technology. We rebuilt it from scratch and fixed all your mistakes. This is humanity's specialty. We look at what you call impossible and ask, why not? The tour continued through weapons bays that made the Council engineers fall silent. The railguns were massive, designed to accelerate projectiles to 40% of light speed. The energy shields could theoretically withstand temperatures hotter than the surface of a star. Missile bays held fusion warheads that made antimatter weapons look primitive. This is not a ship, Thakar said quietly. This is a weapon that could destroy civilizations. Yes, Maria agreed. It is. That's the point. In the command center, Admiral Chen was waiting. She looked tired, older than when Thakar had last seen her. The weight of command was visible in her eyes. 30% complete 6 months ago, Chen said, gesturing to the holographic display. Now we're at 73%. Ahead of schedule. This violates 17 Council treaties, Thakar said, his voice strained. The weapons alone are illegal. The construction methods are banned. You are creating something that threatens the entire galactic order. Chen nodded slowly. Show me which treaty applies to us. We were not part of the Council when those treaties were written. We did not sign them. We are not bound by rules made before we reached the stars. You are part of the Council now, are we? Chen's voice was sharp. Or are we the children you laugh at? The naive newcomers you dismiss? You cannot have it both ways, Ambassador. Either we are equals, with a voice in the rules, or we are outsiders who play by our own rules. Thakar had no answer. Resonance of Truth approached the weapons console, running calculations. After a long moment, his crystalline form dimmed with realization. Admiral Chen, he said softly, this vessel does not just make humanity the strongest military power in the galaxy. It makes you stronger than the next 10 Council species combined. You could conquer us all. We could, Chen admitted. We won't, but we could. Keep that in mind next time you call us children. The inspection was nearly complete when the alarms began to blare. Red lights flashed throughout the command center. Officers rushed to their stations. Admiral Chen's face went pale as she read the incoming reports. What is happening? The car demanded. Chen pulled up a star map. 3 asteroid mining stations in the outer system were marked in red. We have lost contact with 3 stations in the last hour, one by one, moving inward toward the inner planets. Another alert sounded. A 4th station went dark. Pattern analysis, Chen snapped. A tactical officer responded immediately. Whatever it is moving at 0.3 light speed. Current trajectory will bring it to Jupiter Station in 48 hours. The command center fell silent. Thakar felt ice in his blood. Admiral, what is out there? Chen looked at him with eyes that had seen nightmares. You wanted to know why we are building the Indomitable? You wanted proof that something is coming? She activated the classified files. Images appeared on the main screen. Grainy, enhanced by AI, but clear enough. Machines. Millions of them. Moving in perfect formation. Consuming a mining station, breaking it down to raw materials, adding it to their mass. This is what our probes found at the edge of the galaxy 6 years ago, Chen said. This is what has been killing your colonies while you slept peacefully in your council chambers. And now it is here. The Kaskar stared at the images. The machines moved like a swarm, like locusts made of metal. They destroyed everything they touched. How long have you known? He whispered. 6 years. We tried to warn you. You laughed. Another station went dark on the map. We need to accelerate the construction timeline, Maria said. If they reach us before the Indomitable is ready, they won't. Chen interrupted. Get every worker on emergency rotation. I want this ship operational in 2 months. That's impossible, Maria protested. Chen smiled grimly. You sound like the Council. Since when do we accept impossible? The car watched the humans scramble to action. Watched them prepare to face a threat his people had ignored. And he realized something that shamed him deeply. The young species had been protecting the old ones all along.
Admiral, he said quietly.
My people need to know about this. The council needs to know. Then tell them, Chen replied. Tell them the children were right. Tell them something worse than their nightmares is coming. And tell them we are building the only weapon that might stop it. As Thecker's shuttle departed Jupiter Station, he looked back at the Indomitable, the impossible ship that humans were building through sheer will and determination. He hoped it would be enough. Behind them, another mining station went dark. The swarm was coming. The emergency session of the Galactic Council was chaos. Ambassador Thakar stood at the center podium, his mandibles clicking nervously as delegates from 47 species shouted over each other. Accusations flew like weapons. Blame was passed around faster than information. Order! Bellowed General Korthax, slamming his massive appendages on his desk. The human has requested emergency session. Let him speak. The chamber fell into an uneasy silence. 3 days ago, Thakar began, his voice steady despite his fear. I witnessed something at Jupiter Station, something the Council needs to see. He activated the holographic display. The images that appeared made the entire chamber gasp. The swarm moved across the screen like a living nightmare. Millions of machines, each the size of a fighter craft, working in perfect coordination. They consumed an asteroid mining station in minutes, breaking it down to molecular components, absorbing the materials into their mass. This is what humanity discovered 6 years ago, Talker said. This is what they tried to warn us about. This is why they are building the Indomitable. Impossible, said the Vroxian delegate. Our perimeter defenses would have detected such a force. Would they? Admiral Chen stepped forward from the observation gallery. When was the last time you checked on your outer colonies? The uncomfortable silence gave her the answer. Chen approached the podium, her uniform crisp but her face showing the exhaustion of sleepless nights. For the past 3 days, we have been compiling data from Council archives, data you already had but never connected. New images appeared, colony disappearances, mining stations going dark, entire settlements vanishing without trace. The Vraxian colony on Theta 9. Gone 40 years ago. You blamed pirates. A Vraxian delegate shifted uncomfortably. The Krell outpost in the Andromeda sector, silent for 60 years. You called it a civil war. General Korthax's eyes narrowed. The human research station on Proxima 7, destroyed 18 months ago. We investigated. We found this. The hologram showed twisted metal, melted structures, and the unmistakable pattern of machine consumption. The swarm has been attacking the galaxy for decades, Chen continued, but they strike far apart, centuries between attacks on the same region. No one connected the pattern because no one was looking. You all assumed peace would last forever. Resonance of truth's crystalline form pulsed with agitation. How did humanity discover this when we did not? Because we are new, Chen said simply. We do not have thousands of years of tradition telling us what to expect. We looked at the data without assumptions. We saw the pattern you missed. The chamber erupted in debate again. Some delegates denied the threat. Others demanded proof. A few sat in stunned silence, finally understanding. How many? Asked General Korthax quietly. How many are there? Chen's expression darkened. Our best estimate, based on probe data and attack patterns? Billions, maybe trillions. They reproduce using the materials they consume. They have been sweeping across the galaxy for millennia, and the wave is about to hit Council space in full force. She pulled up tactical displays of Council military forces, 18 different fleets, dozens of battleships, thousands of cruisers. Your largest warship is 18 kilometers, Chen said. Your fleets are designed for border disputes and peacekeeping. You have never fought an existential war. Your tactics are 3,000 years old, developed for political conflicts, not survival. And you think one ship can stop this? The Vraxian delegate's voice dripped with skepticism. No, Chen admitted. The Indomitable alone cannot stop them. But it can buy time. It can give us a chance. Maria Okonkwo stepped forward, her cybernetic arm gleaming under the chamber lights. We have a proposal. The Indomitable was designed with modular quarters. We can accommodate 40 different species' environmental needs. Oxygen breathers, methane breathers, high gravity, low gravity. We planned for all of it. Why? Asked the car. Because we hoped you would listen eventually, Maria said. The Indomitable does not need to be a human ship. It can be a symbol of what the galaxy can do together. She activated new schematics showing crew quarters, command stations, engineering bays, all designed for multi-species operation. We can finish construction in 2 months, Maria continued. But we need crew. We need the best pilots, engineers, tacticians from every species. We need the Council's knowledge and humanity's innovation working together. You want us to crew your weapon? A delegate laughed bitterly. We want you to survive, Chen said sharply. Your pride, your politics, your ancient traditions, none of that matters if the swarm consumes you. We are offering you a chance to fight back. General Korthax stood slowly. The massive Vrellan warrior had fought in a dozen wars, survived countless battles. He understood what Chen was offering. If we agree, he rumbled, who commands? I do, Chen said without hesitation. The Indomitable is a human vessel, but every species will have representation in command decisions. This is not a dictatorship. It is a partnership. And if we refuse, asked the Vraxian, then we fight alone, Chen said. And you face the swarm with 18-kilometer battleships and 3,000-year-old tactics. I give you a week before they overwhelm you. The harsh truth silenced the chamber. Resonance of Truth approached the podium, his crystalline form chiming softly. I have been analyzing the tactical data. Admiral Chen is correct. Our current fleet configuration has a 0.03% chance of survival against a swarm force this size. The Indomitable increases that to 12%. 12% is still death, muttered a delegate. 12% is hope, Thakar countered, which is more than we had an hour ago. The vote was called. One by one, species raised their markers. Some voted out of fear. Some voted out of desperation. But slowly, inevitably, the decision became unanimous. The Galactic Council would crew the Indomitable. Chen allowed herself a small moment of relief. We launch in 8 weeks. Send your best people to Jupiter Station. We will train together, fight together, and hopefully survive together. As the delegates filed out, discussing logistics and preparations, the car approached Chen privately. You knew we would agree, he said. I hoped, Chen corrected. Hope and certainty are different things. Why did you really build the Indomitable? The car asked. The truth. Chen looked out at the stars through the chamber viewport. Because humanity learned a hard lesson during our early space age. We learned that the universe does not care about fairness. It does not care if you are ready. Threats do not wait for you to prepare. So we decided to always be prepared, even if everyone thought we were paranoid. And now we find out if paranoia pays off. An urgent message appeared on Chen's datapad. Her face went pale. What is it? The car asked. Long-range sensors just detected the main swarm force, Chen said quietly. The vanguard we have been tracking? That was just the scouts. The main force is behind them. How many? Chen showed him the sensor data. The numbers were beyond comprehension. 10 million machines in the vanguard. Behind them, a mass that blocked out stars. And at the center, a structure that dwarfed everything else. The swarm's central intelligence, a construct 200 kilometers in diameter. The Indomitable will be the largest ship ever built by living beings, Chen said softly. But it will not be the largest thing in the battle. Tara felt his courage waver. Can we win? Chen closed her datapad and straightened her uniform. I have no idea. But we are going to try anyway. That is what humans do best. She walked toward the exit, then paused. Get your people to Jupiter Station, Ambassador. We have 8 weeks to prepare for the fight of our lives. As Therkar watched her leave, he realized something profound. The young species was not just protecting the galaxy. They were teaching the old ones how to fight again. Outside the council chambers, the stars shone peacefully. But somewhere beyond them, the swarm was coming, and the countdown to launch had begun. Part 4. Indomitable Launch Day arrived like thunder. The Indomitable broke orbit around Jupiter with 12,000 crew members from 47 species aboard. Admiral Chen stood on the bridge, surrounded by officers who had trained together for only 6 weeks. It was not enough time. But time had run out. "All stations report ready," called out Lieutenant Vrix, a Vraxian whose crystalline form pulsed with nervous energy. "Engineering at full power," Maria Okonkwo reported from below decks. "But Admiral, we are only 85% complete. Some weapon systems are still offline." "It will have to be enough," Chen said quietly. "Helm, set course for Epsilon Eridani. The swarm hit the colony there 2 hours ago." The massive ship turned, its engines flaring like newborn stars. Across the galaxy, people watched the broadcasts. The largest vessel ever built by living beings was going to war. It took 3 days to reach Epsilon Eridani. They were 3 days too late. The colony was gone. 3 million people vanished. In their place, the swarm fed like locusts. Thousands of machine units stripped the planet bare, consuming buildings, vehicles, even the soil itself. "My God," whispered the car from his position at the diplomatic station. "They are eating everything." "Weapons range in 30 seconds, called the tactical officer. A massive Vrellan warrior named Korthax Jr., son of the general. Rail guns charging. Chen gripped her command chair. "All crews, battle stations. Remember your training. Stay calm. Work together." The Indomitable entered weapons range. "Fire," Chen ordered. The railgun spoke with voices of thunder. Projectiles accelerated to 40% of light speed, tore through the swarm like the fist of an angry god. Each shot vaporized hundreds of machine units. Explosions bloomed across the planet's surface. The crew cheered. They had drawn first blood. But the swarm adapted. The machines began moving in unpredictable patterns, spreading out, making themselves harder targets. They launched counterattacks, small missiles that struck the Indomitable's shields with surprising force. "Shields holding at 90%, Maria reported. "But they are learning our patterns." "Then we change the patterns," Chen said. "Tactical, randomized firing solutions. Engineering, rotate shield frequencies every 30 seconds. The battle became a deadly dance. The Indomitable's multi-species crew worked together with desperate efficiency. Human quick thinking, combined with Raxian computational power. Vrellan strength paired with Krell endurance. Each species brought their unique talents to the fight. For 6 hours, they battled the swarm over Epsilon Eridani. Slowly, painfully, they won. The last machine unit was destroyed as the sun rose over the ravaged planet. But victory came with cost. The Indomitable had taken damage. Hull breaches on 3 decks, 2 railguns offline. Shields at 60%. "Damage control teams to decks 7 through 9, Maria ordered. "I need those railguns back online in 12 hours. Chen studied the tactical display. "Where is the main swarm force?" "Still approaching," Vrix reported. "They will reach Council space in 6 days. 6 days. 6 days to stop an enemy that numbered in the millions." The Indomitable fought running battles across 6 star systems. Each victory cost more. Each fight left them weaker. The crew worked without sleep, repairing damage, adapting weapons, learning to fight an enemy that learned from every encounter. On the 5th day, a human medic named Sarah gave her own blood to save a wounded Krell officer. Kecker watched the transfusion, saw the human grow pale and weak, but refused to stop until the Krell was stable. "Why?" the car asked. "Her. Your species and the Krell fought a war 30 years ago. They tried to conquer Earth." Sarah looked at him with tired eyes. "That was 30 years ago. This is now. He is crew. Is family." Cocker finally understood. Humans did not just fight for survival. They fought for those they chose to love. And somehow, in 6 weeks, they had chosen to love the entire galaxy. On the 6th day, they reached the coordinates where the main swarm would emerge. What they found made even Admiral Chen's courage falter. 100 million machine units surrounded a structure that defied imagination. The swarm's central intelligence was a nightmare of consumed civilizations, a 200-kilometer mass of stolen technology fused into one terrible mind. "Probability of survival?" Chen asked quietly. Resonance of truth ran the calculations. 0.03%, Admiral. The bridge fell silent. Chen stood from her command chair and walked to the viewport. Behind them, the Council fleet had finally arrived. 60 warships, every vessel the allied species could spare. It was not enough. Everyone knew it was not enough. "I need options," Chen said. Maria appeared on the comm screen, her face smudged with grease. "I have one. It is insane." "Tell me." "We overload the fusion core, turn the Indomitable into a bomb, ram the central intelligence, and detonate. The explosion would disable millions of swarm units. And the crew? Emergency teleporters could save maybe 80% if we time it perfectly. Maybe." Chen closed her eyes. 2 months ago, she had stood before the Council and promised this ship would save them. Now she was contemplating its destruction. "There has to be another way," the car said. "There is not," Chen replied. "Maria, begin preparations, but quietly. I do not want the crew to know until the last moment." The final battle began. The Indomitable charged straight into the swarm's heart, every weapon firing. The Council fleet followed, providing covering fire. The machine units swarmed like angry hornets, but the Allied forces cut through them with desperate fury. "Approaching the central intelligence," the helm officer reported. 60 seconds to collision. "All hands, this is Admiral Chen," she broadcast across all channels. "Prepare for emergency evacuation. It has been an honor serving with you." Understanding spread through the crew like wildfire. "Admiral, no!" Maria protested from engineering. "It is the only way," Chen said calmly. "Maria, activate the teleporters on my mark. Get our people out." The Indomitable penetrated the Central Intelligence's shields. Alarms blared. The ship shook violently. "Mark!" Chen shouted. Light filled the ship as teleporters activated. Crew members vanished in bursts of energy, transported to the Council fleet waiting behind them. Chen stayed at her command chair until the end. Through the viewport, she saw the fusion core beginning its catastrophic overload. She thought of Earth, of the blue sky she would never see again. The explosion was beautiful. A miniature supernova bloomed in space, consuming the central intelligence and creating a shockwave that disabled millions of swarm units. The sacrifice of the Indomitable broke the swarm's coordination. The remaining machines became confused, vulnerable. The Council fleet destroyed them in hours. When Admiral Chen materialized on the Council flagship, still gripping her command chair's armrest, she found Maria waiting. 82%, Maria said with tears in her eyes. "We saved 82%. Around them, crew members from 47 species embraced each other. They had survived. Against impossible odds, they had won. 3 weeks later, Admiral Chen stood before the Galactic Council. The chamber was different now. The delegates looked at her with respect instead of dismissal. "Humanity has earned a permanent council seat," declared the senior delegate. "You saved us all." Chen nodded. "We accept on one condition." The chamber waited. "We start building 5 more dreadnoughts," Chen said. "Because if one swarm found us, others will come. Next time, we will be ready." At Jupiter Station, construction drones were already at work. 5 new frameworks took shape against the stars. The largest was designated Unconquerable. A plaque was installed at each construction site, built by humanity, crewed by the galaxy, indomitable in spirit. The young species had taught the old ones an ancient lesson. Survival belongs to those who refuse to quit, who adapt when others break, who stand together when darkness comes. The galaxy had found its defenders, and they were just getting started. The end.